Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to talk about Yella Beezy, man. Now, Yella Beezy has been all in the news, and most of it has to do with this arrest recently. So Yella Beezy was arrested in Dallas County, Dallas, a part of, the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and he was arrested on some serious charges. Those charges being capital murder. And basically, he was being charged with a murder for hire charge, similar to what we see with Lil Durk, where they're saying he was the person who funded the shooting and murder of rap star Mo 3. Now, Mo 3 was a beloved rap star, but there was a lot of things that we always leave out of this story. There's been rumors of shootings and hits and things on behalf of Mo 3 as well. So this wasn't a one-sided thing where what Mo 3 was the victim, and we do have condolences for him and his family, and it's a sad, sad situation. But it looks like in the streets there was a lot of retaliatory shooting back and forth. Yella Beezy's side, Mo 3's side, and Trap Boy Freddy's side, a lot of people are saying, man. Now, none of this can be confirmed, but a lot of these guys have been in shootings around that same time or ended up in the hospital around that same time. And people are saying that the other party that they got into it with on social media that was also a rapper, be it on Mo 3's side or be it on Yella Beezy's side, was to blame, man. And a lot of people say that all of this started because a comedian in Dallas had lost his life that was near and dear to Mo 3's heart, a guy he really loved a lot. And Yella Beezy's crew allegedly had something to do with that, or it's been inferred that they had something to do with that. I don't know for a fact. To this day, I don't believe the case has been solved. Let me know in the comments if I'm wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure, man, when it comes to the Roy Lee situation, I don't think that there's ever been any definitive information that Yella Beezy had anything to do with that. I remember them beefing back and forth. I remember them on IG Live talking about who's all them dudes with you back there and all that, and talking about gang affiliations and all that stuff. And I remember when he passed away and Mo 3 being distraught. But man, since then, it hasn't been much about that. But that doesn't mean it's gone away completely, like we see with this Yella Beezy situation. Because Yella Beezy was recently in front of the judge finally. Finally, he got to see the judge since he's been arrested yesterday. And the judge was able to set his bond amount. So man, let's check out the paperwork and everything from that. All right, so this is the booking and bond information that they released for Yella Beezy. And as you see on the top, you see his name, his government name, his official name. You see all his information. Now they've updated it with where he's at. So you get an idea of where he's being located or where they're jailing him. And then the tank location, I don't know if that's important, but let's get to the important part, man. So the charge is indictment, capital murder, while in remuneration. And the bond amount is set at $2 million. Whew, that is crazy, bruh. So as of now, Yella Beezy's bond is $2 million. I'm guessing it's a 10% situation up there in Dallas. So he'd have to come up with $200,000. But I mean, he got a bond. That's a good sign. You know what I mean? Him getting a bond. The problem is with his bond being that high, he's probably going to have to sit so his lawyer can try to argue to get a lesser bond. I don't know what the laws are on the books there as far as the bond limits that they set, but for capital murder, this might just be right on target, so I doubt there's any chance of it getting lowered, but you'll see, man. It might. Sometimes the lawyers, they go to court to try to get the bond amount lowered, so that way, the client doesn't have to take out a lien on properties and do all this stuff just to get out of jail. You know what I mean? Because the lawyer wants you out of jail and working to get more money so you can pay them to keep you out of jail, if that makes sense, man. It's like a circle of things where the lawyer, you would think the lawyer wouldn't care if you're in jail or not, but they know they can get more money out of you if you're under a pressure grinder and you're under these bond restrictions where all you can do is work and pay them. You know what I mean? That's basically it. It sounds savage, but it's the truth. So his lawyer's probably either going to try to get this lowered or either he's going to end up having to pay this. But if it's 10, 20%, you're looking at 40 grand. You're looking at 400,000 or you're looking at 200,000. So you're looking at $200,000 or you're looking at $400,000 for the 40%. You know what I mean? So we'll see, man. We'll see. Excuse me, for the 20%. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think about this, man? This is a very high bond amount. But like we said, that charge, that capital murder, which is basically a capital murder for hire charge, it's going to have him, he's going to have a tough fight on his hands. And really, depending on what the judge or the DA sets as, his possible sentence, he could be looking at life, and he possibly could be looking at the death penalty. You never know. You know what I mean? Because he's the one who paid for it and wasn't, or allegedly paid for it, because I don't think he actually did it. You know what I mean? Innocent until proven guilty, I guess. But the one that they feel paid for it, I'm pretty sure, I don't know. We'll see. Because there's rumors right now that one of the guys who has been listed in the case since the beginning, one of the first people to be arrested, a guy by the name of Keywan White, an interesting guy. When I say interesting, I mean he's got a lot of weird stuff around this guy if you look on social media. And if you look at it, man, there's rumors out there that he's actually the one that's flipping on Yella Beezy. I guess he said he couldn't do all that time by himself. And as of now, he's probably did like 4 years. He's been in there for like 3 or 4 years already. Maybe it looks like he's rolling over on Yella Beezy or either throwing him under the bus regardless, man. But this is a bad look for Yella Beezy regardless. Okay, now with Yella Beezy, all of a sudden after 5 years strong, getting arrested, he's locked up. He probably thought he was in the clear. He probably thought everything was all good. And then this comes to grab him, man. So it always goes to show that when it comes to these murder cases, they are never going to stop looking for the person who committed the alleged murder or the alleged offense in this situation. And I ain't saying that Yella Beezy did it, but man, him to get arrested this many years after or later, they obviously have been trying to build a case with these little stops and things that they were doing on him, man. It was just so obvious because every once in a while he would go to jail for his car getting pulled over for something. His car would get pulled over and searched. It'd be full on searches. It'd be video there. It'd be videos. But that stopped in 2022. Since then, maybe they said, well, let's lay back and see what he does. And maybe they even waited to see if there was any sort of exchange of the money or anything like that. But it looks like when it comes to Yella Beezy, all his attention is going to be focused on this court case and trying to get out of jail because that's a very high bond amount. He's got friends in high places, though. He's very good friends with Errol Spence. He's very good friends with a lot of people in the Dallas-Fort Worth area who are superstars, super duper stars, because you forget that Yella Beezy was at that level to where he was at that star status as an artist, man. A lot of people respected his grind, respected his hustle, and respected what he was doing in music. But it looks like the crime in the streets have drug him into a mess that financially he's going to take a hit regardless, because with that $2 million bond balance, there's only a few ways to get that covered. And like I said, depending on the city and state, it's usually you have to pay up front 10%, maybe 20% to a bail bondsman or whatever. And even at the bottom of the booking information, they talk about that. They say bond amounts reflect the initial bond amount set. And for more information and update of the defendant's case, you have to use the warrant numbers or whatever, and then they go ahead and exclude the total bond amounts from other jurisdictions. You know what I mean? So it depends on how they operate in that jurisdiction, but it's pretty much known, throughout wherever, like all over, you know what I mean? In Texas, that is usually 10% to 20%. Then there's possibilities you get out on a bond on your own word and things like that, which it looks like he's not going to get in this situation because it's a capital murder case, because that is more of a flight risk than anything because of the charge. And Yella Beezy is proven to have some sort of money or some sort of finances. I don't know where his books sit right now because, he's not at that level he was when this first initially kicked off the beef between him and Mo3. But this is a crazy situation to say the least. And a lot of people are catching L's here. One person who might be trying to bring themselves up out of the trenches in this situation is a guy by the name of Keywan White. Now, Keywan White and Devin Brown were the two people who were arrested for this case, and Keywan White was listed in the indictment that was brought forth by the Department of Justice against him for the shooting death of Mo3. It was such a high-profile case that they had a task force of feds and everything working on the fact to try to get this thing resolved. when it comes to Keywan White, there's rumors out there that he might be trying to make a deal for himself. He might be trying to throw Yella Beezy under the bus just so that way he can get free, because let's admit, he's already been down 4 years. He probably just wants some time served and to just get back home sometime in the near future. And at this point, with a brazen shooting like that in public, on the highway, I don't see if that's possible, even with cooperating. So I don't know if that's true or not. But what I do know is we're going to dig a little bit more into Keywan White as we go through this in the future. Now, y'all tell me what y'all think, man. Do y'all think it's a possibility that somebody is snitching on Yella Beezy? Or do you think that it's a possibility it just took them this long to put the case together, let things advance a little bit more, technology advance a little bit more, and for them to use whatever they had to get Yella Beezy arrested? Because obviously they brought this case, they took their time before they brought this case, and they wanted to make sure it was a thorough investigation before they even charged what they charged to him, man. So it's looking like this capital murder charge, murder for hire, and we've been seeing that in hip-hop a lot lately. But y'all tell me y'all comments in the comment section. I'd love to hear what y'all think. Now with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content, and we out of here. Peace.